Well, here I am at the San Benito County Library, the Big Bear Lake branch, where tonight the Friends of the Library are having their second annual Evening in the Stacks. It's really a great event. Let's go in and see what's happening. Well, look at this wonderful crowd here this evening. They always draw a good crowd because there's so much here, particularly in food, entertainment, and everybody seems to know everybody. Well, look at all the food. We're going to go around. We're going to start here on the dessert end. This is Cavalli Catering, and look at this. Brownies without nuts, brownies with nuts. And you are in Big Bear? Oh, good. And if people want catering, well, who would they call?
They call Denise Cavalli Catering.
And what number?
909-557-0428.
Very good. Give you some publicity. Looks great. And look at this lemonade. Wow, how beautiful that is. What they do is they have various restaurants here, and as you saw, caterers donate the food here for the night. This is from Medlon's. This is out of Big Bear City. And here we are at Sweet Basil. Hi there, lady. So what do we have tonight? What's in the warmers?
Well, tonight, Ron, we have the honey pasta.
Ooh, wow, yes.
This is another full one, ready for you to come and take a taste.
Good.
The Caesar salad.
Oh, that looks so good.
This is wonderful. And may I make you a plate?
Oh, no, afterwards.
Afterwards?
You
okay.
bet you. How's everything?
Everything is wonderful.
Sweet
Ron.
Basil, located on the ground floor of the Moline Barn.
Absolutely.
Open every day but Monday.
Yes.
And Sunday brunch.
Yes, Sunday brunch is wonderful. We have smoked salmon eggs Benedict, regular eggs Benedict, coconut French toast, flank steak with potatoes and scrambled eggs, and whatever you like.
Well, very good. Oh,
very nice
well,
to
try
see
them,
you.
folks. They're wonderful.
Thank you very much.
You're
Nice to
welcome.
see you, Ron.
And here is Trisha's Cakes and More. Well, look at that. Look at that. Those are homemade whoopie pies. Don't they look good? Coffee glazed twists. Look, a little mini twist. Don't these look good? Strawberry cheesecake triangles. Wow, how neat. And finally, this is Jasper's. Look at that. You think these desserts are great. Look at these strawberry parfaits. And if you don't want that, you want something that doesn't have a lot of calories in it, they have a whole platter here.
There's that Ron Seymour talking to himself again.
You
Always
betcha.
talking to yourself, Ron. Oh, no, don't you?
Am I?
Hi, guys.
Hi, lady.
Tell me, Ron. So
Now, what is your name? I mean, you're really a grand person,
Yes.
or a grandy person.
Holly's mom. That's how I
Oh, that's right.
Holly's mom.
And
Holly's here
Holly,
tonight.
is she? And she brought it. Look how much money she brought in on the MS Walk.
$1,300.
I know it.
She
She's,
wasn't the top dog, but she was second top dog.
but that's okay.
Yeah, it was her first year, so she has to gain a little experience.
Yeah, I know it. How you been?
Big good.
John gonna entertain tonight?
Yeah, he's with the diva. I love the divas
Oh,
and John.
yes.
The
Good.
male diva, I guess.
I will have to
And then
go
we
in
have
and
a
see what
diva
he.
dog. So
Oh yeah, right.
the whole family. Well,
Well,
except me, of course.
Yeah, we'll see what he's doing.
Yeah.
Good seeing you, Julie.
Good to see you, Ron. I missed you.
Well, I finally found Holly, the princess or the queen of all the dogs. Hi, Holly. Thanks for raising all that money for MS. Hi, sweetie.
You're just too good.
Aww.
Stay away from me, so you don't touch me.
That's right.
Blessed when all the professional talent that we have up here on this mountain. We have cats, we have all kinds of things that go on. But the neatest thing is these people give back, and they give to the community, they give their time, their talent, and they're very helpful. And so this evening we have two different programs for you, and the first one, I think you read on the sign, will be Noel Blank. Now the Blank family has been up in Big Bear for a long time. You may not have known them, but I'll bet you all know Bugs Bunny, Sylvester, Tweety Bird. And so Noel took over what his father had started. His father, Mel Blanc, who I'm sure you've all heard of in one way or another, gave voice to over 1,000 characters in a 55-year career in the movies. And so Noel, having grown up around all this, I think was just kind of, it came naturally that he would continue with this. And so he has carried on, continued with his own animation and voice business. His company has produced over 5,000 commercials and dozens of TV specials. He also hosts a radio show dealing with the history of animation, besides being a commercial helicopter pilot and a reserve police officer with the Los Angeles Police Department. But his true love is still the Looney Tunes characters, and he uses the Blanc voices so that we feel very privileged to have him come and share his talent with you tonight.
So I never know what I'm going to say or what I'm going to do. So I outline maybe about 3 or 4 different stories, 5 or 6 different stories, but everybody wants to hear, of course, what's up, Doc? Yeah. And they said it's going to be a very, do a very short show. So if there's no further questions, I'll say the V is a V. That's all. So I'm watching the time. Anyway, my family's been around Big Bear since 1938. They started coming up here. And we used to stay at Potter's Shore Acres, it's called Shore Acres now, and Lagunita Lodge, and Old Stillwells. And every summer, when I was no years old all the way up to the present time, we spent most of our time in Big Bear. And now, my wife and I, Catherine and I, we spend about, 10 months out of the year? About 8 or 10 months out of the year. We started coming here, 25 years ago? And we just love it. And we're in the same cabin, and with the same furniture. My folks, well, I'll tell you the story about this. 1940, 5. Let's start with 45. I don't want to go back too early. But let's start with 45, the day the war ends. That's World War II for the people that are younger. They say, what war? World War II, 1-1. It ended about August 6th or something like that, 1945. We were staying at a place called CNS Cabins. I don't want to say what the CNS stand for, but you could bet what it is. Think of the worst letters that start the worst words, and that's what it is. Because they had a cesspool, not a septic tank. The cesspool was in back of the cabins. Unfortunately, my folks had rented the cabin for a full 3 months. So we were stuck with these cabins. It was on Forest Road up about near the highway. They're still there, by the way, 60 years or 70 years later, so you can imagine what they look like now. Although they started to paint them this year, didn't they, I think? When the walls started falling off, they started to paint. Anyway, my mom and dad and I are there, and the war ends. Now, I'm upstairs sleeping when the word gets out, and I hear, the war ends, the war. And I thought somebody's saying the water's running over because I knew about the cesspool. But they were saying, no, the war's over, the war's over. This was so exciting. And it gave my mom a chance to get me out of the house. We used to take bike rides just about a block. This way, the war ended. We were so happy. We celebrated. We both got on our bicycles. I was 5 years old. And we got away from the stinky, well, you could smell the place probably 8 blocks away, so we got away from the stink. And we started going down Forest Road. And where Edgemore, I don't know if you know where Edgemore meets Forest Road and Lakeview, it all comes in together. And we kept going. All of a sudden, we look in the air, and there's a tremendous amount of clouds. You know how the clouds come over in August, over Sugarloaf? They build up, and then they drop the rain. Well, this was a bad year, or a good year, actually. And it came over Sugarloaf, and it started to rain, and it started to pour. And my mom and I didn't know where to go. There were very few houses out there. All of a sudden, we see a house being constructed in a porch. We jump up on the porch with our bicycles. We let the rain, you know how it goes very quickly for about, half an hour. So we stood on the porch for about a half an hour, and it stopped, and we looked down at this beautiful little cove, which later we found out is Sawmill Cove. And it was just gorgeous. The wind was coming down from the west, like the prevailing westerlies always do, but this cove was absolutely pristine with no waves. And from this cove, we could see most of the lake all the way to Stanfield Cutoff. And we went down to this little area and we said, oh, would my dad love to fish here? Because he fished everywhere. My dad, you couldn't keep him from fishing every day. We'd come up the mountain and stop before Stanfield Cutoff. He'd drop his line in the water in the pond there, just catch bluegill in the pond. Anyway, we walked down to this beautiful, pristine little area. And we started to have picnics there. We didn't know who owned it. And my dad started to come down there, and he was catching some great bass. I mean, some really good fish in this area. So we'd go there every day to get out of the smell of the cabin. And all of a sudden, the dad says, you know, I wonder who owns this. This would be a wonderful place to build a home. We finally found out who owned it. And for $600, we bought 3/4 of an acre on the lake. And we're still there. The cabin, I don't know, probably didn't cost much more than that to build. We have the same furniture. We don't want to change it. My mom had pretty good foresight because the kitchen was part of what they call now the great room. She says she didn't want to be stuck away in the kitchen. She wanted to be part of the whole gang. And then we built the whole side, and this is 65 years ago, the whole panel of glass is 17 feet long by 5 feet high, which overlooks the lake and is framed by the porch. So we can see the whole lake all the way to Stanfield Cutoff.
Beautiful. Thanks, Howard.
They were made to live. For water, for collecting pinion nuts. They used the tump line. This is called a tump line. And they wrapped that went around their forehead and it hung on their back so they could have both hands free while they were picking. Now, a lot of the Apaches had the tin cones on them. Like, see these tin cones here?
Those were
They had the
skull
tin
tobacco
cones all around them, and that would make noise while they were picking, and that would scare away the bears so they wouldn't get attacked by the bears.
Oh my goodness.
So they were very, very smart.
And see, even back in the frontier time, we littered. And we would drop our flat 50 cones and any kind of mess, you know, smoking tobacco, we would leave our litter. The white people would leave their litter. The Indians would come along and recycle this metal, and they would make it into little tin cones, and they would add it onto the tobacco. So anything metal was completely recycled. It was like
Hi, Susan. Well, look at these buttons.
Ah, yes.
These are all political buttons, huh?
Yes.
Are these your collection?
That's about 15% of the collection.
Really?
I selected things that show different candidates and different types of buttons and different ideas. This is possibly my oldest. It's
Really?
McKinley and Hobart, and it's mechanical. The wings fold in, and then you can make them pop out again.
Wow.
And then this one, it's a family show, so I'll be careful. This guy claims to be the safe candidate. You open up this little package, and there's a condom inside.
Oh, no.
Got him a lot of attention anyway.
Yeah. Wow.
These are some
What
of the
memories.
oldest. Yes, it's really a trip through history.
Yeah. For the history of politics.
That's right.
Sure changed, hasn't it, over the years?
Yes, indeed.
You bet.
There aren't so many buttons being issued these days because people are spending money on television,
That's right.
which is kind of a loss, I think, for historical purposes.
Oh, yeah. Well, nice seeing you.
Yes.
They had to go through, just making additional copies.
Is that what those are?
No, those are not. Those come later. So in 1908, Amberol was a different compound. Edison discovered this other compound that was much harder, and he could make finer grooves. So by moving the reproducer half as fast, you could get 4 minutes of playing time instead of 2. So again, what's pushing this? Commerce. Right? Then in 1912, the patents lapsed on celluloid, so Edison was able to invent blue amberol, which is what is over here. That was the very best that was available at the time. It was noise-free, and it was the best fidelity. So there's lots of those around now because they're durable. The downside is that it's plaster of Paris core, so if you drop it, it breaks.
It's a palm reader.
Drop the fly on the water and shooting out
Keith
from under that
makes
blue
flies for fly fishing.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Keith, how you doing?
Fine.
Look at all these. Go to the best fly fishing man in Big Bear.
This whole
Look at what it
this
takes
is
to
just
make a
what it was.
fly. Well, these are, how long does it take you to make a fly, Keith?
Well, depending on the style that you're tying, it could take anywhere from about 3 minutes to up to 4 to 5 minutes.
Really? That quick?
And it's just on the style, and of course the more experience that you get doing it means that you can tie them up a little bit quicker.
Sure. And boy, what a, now this is a setup. This, it really helps you, doesn't it?
Yes, you need all the proper tools to do
Sure.
what you need to do.
Well, that's cool. Do you, you teach fly fishing? I mean, you have classes, don't you?
I do.
Still? How would they get a hold of you?
If they wanted to get a hold of me, they can email me, and it's at kflies, KFLIES at charter.net. And they can just send me an email, and I can answer questions for them, or we can set up, fishing trips or time.
That's great. Charter fly fishing. That's where it's at. Good seeing you, Keith.
All right, man.
These are divas of the valley, Kim Boda, Nancy Walker, and Elena Beeman. They did their show. So anyway, Art, so you have them on your CD?
I have sharing rights. The first time they ever sang together, I called each one of them individually to come in to sing Sharing the Love, is the name of the CD. Shirley Jones introduced it, talked about our 35 years of friendship, and the girls sang backup on 3 or 4 of the songs.
Oh, great.
So I do have sharing rights.
Oh, good.
I'm honored, and to be here tonight is a real treat.
It is. Nice seeing you, Art.
Thank you.
Well, the festivities continue on, but my time is up. We've been here at the Big Bear Branch Library for the Friends of the Library's second annual Evening in the Stacks. Stacks of books, that is. And what a wonderful evening and success it has been. So that's it. Now don't go away. I'll be back right after these messages from my sponsor.